It's like an invasion from within.
Tonight, Donald Trump vows a mass deportation of migrants starting in Springfield, Ohio, a town now seeing bomb threats after the former president spread an unfounded rumor about Haitian immigrants.
We're going to have the largest deportation in the history of our country.
Chi è il male minore?
And the Pope weighs in on the U.S. election, why he's criticizing both candidates. Thousands of Boeing workers go on strike. Could it impact commercial travel?
We just want a fair share of the pie.
All these people are talking about me, making fun of me.
And we go on the road with the story of redemption.
What was meant to destroy me actually was the stepping stone to rebuilding me.
The CBS Evening News starts now. Good evening, I'm Nora O'Donnell, and thank you for being with us on this Friday night. There are just 53 days to Election Day, and some mail-in ballots have already gone out. Today, former President Trump spent an hour of what little time is remaining in this campaign to hold a press conference defending his close relationship with a 9/11 conspiracy theorist, threatening also to deport Haitian immigrants from Springfield, Ohio, who have temporary protected status, meaning they are here legally, and then downplaying bomb threats there after he repeated an ugly conspiracy theory about the town during Tuesday's debate. Across the country, Vice President Kamala Harris traveled to the battleground state of Pennsylvania, where she said she feels good about her chances of carrying the must-win state. CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns is in Los Angeles, where she asked the former president about the time he's spending with the far-right provocateur.
Former President Donald Trump refused to distance himself from racist comments made by conspiracy theorist Laura Loomer, who has traveled with him this week.
Laura is a supporter. I don't control Laura. Laura has to say what she wants.
Do you disavow those remarks, and why do you associate with her?
Well, I have to see what the remarks are. You're telling me for the first time we're here discussing the destruction of San Francisco and California by a person that's running for president. So I don't even know what you're talking about.
But other Republicans have raised alarm bells about Loomer, who called 9/11 an inside job, but accompanied Trump to 9/11 memorial services this week and has posted that the White House would smell like curry if Harris was elected. Republican Senator Tom Tillis from the battleground state of North Carolina said Loomer utters disgusting garbage and will hurt Trump's chances of winning. Enough. Trump also doubled down on debunked claims about Haitian migrants causing havoc in Springfield, Ohio, even as some schools there were evacuated today for bomb threats.
We're going to have the largest deportation in the history of our country, and we're going to start with Springfield.
At Tuesday's debate, Trump drew attention to the thousands of Haitian migrants, most of whom are living there legally, spreading the conspiracy theory that they are eating people's pets.
They're eating the dogs.
President Biden today voiced his disgust with Trump's comments.
Simply wrong. There's no place in America. This has to stop what he's doing. It has to stop.
Meanwhile, with just 53 days to go until Election Day, Vice President Harris made her 12th trip to Pennsylvania. Its 19 electoral votes offer more than any other battleground state.
I feel very strongly that got to earn every vote. And that means spending time with folks in the communities where they live. And so that's why I'm here.
In a new social media post tonight, Trump said that he disagrees with Loomer's comments, but that she is a private citizen and a longtime supporter of his cause. Trump will campaign tonight in a rally in Las Vegas. Nora?
Caitlin Huey-Burns, thank you so much. The Pope tonight is weighing in on the upcoming election after he was asked by CBS News about what advice he would have for a Catholic voter on who to vote for. Pope Francis made it clear that he doesn't agree with Trump's tough immigration policy, nor Harris's stance on abortion rights.
They are both against life. The one who throws away the migrants, as well as the one who kills children. Both are against life. Who is the lesser of two evils? That lady or that gentleman? I don't know.
The Pope made those comments on the papal plane on his way home from a 12-day tour of Asia and the Pacific. The Pope's comments hold weight. There are about 52 million Catholics who live here in the United States. Well, now to this breaking news. CBS News has obtained 911 recordings from parents of Appalachian students desperately trying to get information in the moments after last week's deadly school shooting in Georgia. A 14-year-old is accused of killing 2 students and 2 teachers, and these harrowing calls are difficult to listen to. We get more now from CBS's Mark Strassman.
Midway through second period class, chaos.
Sir, my daughter goes to the school next door to Appalachia. Is there a school shooter?
Gunshots, an active shooter at Appalachia High. 10:23 a.m. last Wednesday, police streaked toward the school.
We do have an active situation at Appalachia High School right now. We have a lot of calls coming in, and we do have units on scene.
Inside, armed school resource officers confronted the alleged gunman. They say he gave up right away.
My daughter calling me crying. Somebody, for everybody, boom, 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 boom.
The AR-style weapon used in the attack lying on the floor. Killed in the carnage, 4 people, 2 teachers and 2 students, both 14, the same age as Colt Gray, the Appalachia High freshman now charged with murder. His father, Colin Gray, is charged with second-degree murder. He allegedly gave his son the weapon as a Christmas gift. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, or GBI, now says the teenage suspect snuck the assault-style rifle into school in his backpack. The GBI says the teacher allowed him to leave class to go to the front office. He took his backpack and hid in a bathroom. Minutes later, shooting began. School officials released this video message to the Appalachia community.
For my Appalachia family, we are planning to have a thoughtful, gradual return to school starting the week of September 23rd.
There will be funeral services for 2 of the shooting victims tomorrow. Nora?
Mark Strassman, thank you very much. Well, tonight, CBS News takes you inside Gaza and down into the underground tunnel network beneath the Strip, including the section where 6 hostages were found last month, one of whom was American Hirsch Goldberg Poland. Our Elizabeth Palmer traveled with the Israeli military into the corridor bordering Egypt. Those officials reviewed our video, but they had no say in this report.
As far as the eye can see, the wreckage of war.
We're being taken by the Israeli military on a very, very rare trip into Gaza itself. We're in the southern part along the Egyptian border.
This was Rafah City, where Hamas dug in, literally.
A lot of effort has gone into the construction. It's cinder block. All the blocks are nicely connected with concrete.
The Israelis have destroyed 8 miles of tunnels in Rafah, and just 2 weeks ago discovered another one that contained the bodies of 6 hostages executed just days before.
One of the things that is most devastating for the warriors and the commanders here is when the hostages are being murdered, executed, and we need to take out their bodies out.
There's been trauma in Rafah on both sides. Before the offensive against Hamas started, soldiers ordered more than 1 million Palestinian civilians to leave. They took refuge elsewhere in Gaza, in so-called safe zones, but where there are still daily military strikes. In Nusrat camp just yesterday, little Mohammed Hamdouna survived one. His mother and sister did not.
We've seen civilian deaths in areas that should be safe zones. How come?
You know, when Hamas commanders are using safe zones, so every precise attack that we conduct is being thoroughly reviewed in order to minimize the civilian harm and maximize the way that we hit only the terrorists.
But there is going to be a civilian price. You know that.
We know that because Hamas is a ruthless enemy that embeds inside the Gazan population.
In Rafah, the enemy, Hamas, has been defeated by the Israelis. But this is what victory looks like.
It was a hard-fought victory, Nora, but a limited one because everybody loses until there's a ceasefire.
Elizabeth Palmer, thank you. Tonight, 33,000 Boeing workers have walked off the job after overwhelmingly rejecting the latest contract offer. The aerospace company's first strike in 16 years is expected to halt production at plants in Seattle and Portland, Oregon. CBS's Carter Evans reports from the picket line.
Vote was overwhelming. 96% of Boeing union workers want to walk the picket line.
I'm from CBS News.
At the Renton, Washington plant, where they build the 737, we met Jerry Tomlinson, Donnie Lewisburg, and Thomas Doyle.
We're going to be doing as long as it takes to get a fair contract.
The union is demanding a 40% increase in wages and restoration of their pensions. Boeing offered 25% and extra 401k contributions. The company says machinists who make about $75,000 a year would be making six figures by the end of the new contract. But workers on the picket line say those increases are based on wages that were negotiated 16 years ago.
We just want a fair share of the pot.
In the Seattle area, where the median cost for a home is more than $800,000, these union workers say Boeing just doesn't pay enough.
Some people in my shop they work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week to make a living.
At a conference today, Boeing Chief Financial Officer Brian West said the company is focused on restoring our trust with our people and the union, but added the strike will jeopardize our recovery. The production halt of Boeing's best-selling planes comes as the company is already facing a string of safety issues, including 2 737 crashes, a door ripped off mid-flight, and a spacecraft that stranded astronauts.
I absolutely love working for Boeing. I mean, it's a phenomenal company. We just need to make some adjustments, is all.
Now, the strike will not affect commercial air travelers, but it could definitely impact Boeing's bottom line. The company already has about $60 billion in debt, and one analyst suggests a lengthy strike, Nora, could cost another $3 billion.
It's a big story. Carter Evans, thank you for being there. Pop star Justin Timberlake makes a public apology after appearing in court on drunk driving charges. That's next. Justin Timberlake was back in a Long Island court today to accept a plea deal in his drunk driving case. The pop star pled guilty to a lesser charge of driving while ability impaired. CBS's Carolyn Gussoff was there.
I found myself in a position where I could have made a different decision.
Justin Timberlake appeared in the Chic Hamptons village of Sag Harbor to face the music, pleading guilty to a reduced charge of driving while impaired, sparing him jail time.
I try to hold myself to a very high standard for myself, and this was not that.
As part of the agreement, he was required to issue a public safety announcement.
Even if you've had one drink, don't get behind the wheel of a car. There's so many alternatives.
Timberlake was arrested in June after running a stop sign just after midnight and charged with driving while intoxicated. He pleaded not guilty last month. Police say he refused a breathalyzer test and showed signs of intoxication and failed sobriety tests. Police said he admitted to having one martini. In a surprise move during today's proceedings, the judge asked Timberlake to add 25 hours of community service to the plea deal, saying the prosecutor's proposal was too favorable. CBS News legal analyst Jessica Levinson says the judge was mindful of Timberlake's celebrity status.
The judge wanted to make sure that this agreement looked like the agreement that would be offered to Justin Smith. They plead to a lesser offense and they get community service.
Timberlake must also pay a $500 fine and has 1 year to perform community service at a nonprofit of his choice. Nora?
Carolyn Gussoff, thank you very much. Both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump want to put more money back in parents' pocket. We break down both of their plans for the child tax credit. In America Decides the Issues, that's next. Being a parent isn't cheap. Government data shows it now costs more than $300,000 to raise a child from birth to age 18. Since 1997, the federal child tax credit has been helping parents save a little bit of that money. And now both the Harris and Trump campaigns are proposing supersized versions of the tax break. CBS's Nancy Cordes reports on the issue from outside Philadelphia.
If anyone knows how expensive it is to raise a child, it's Reagan Selden.
Crabs in the oven.
She has raised 6. Her oldest is 25, her youngest is 12.
I have 2 sons who are hungry every second, every minute of the day. I have daughters who would like to think that they eat dainty, but they don't.
She's an office manager from Norristown, Pennsylvania, and she has always relied on the child tax credit to help make ends meet. During the pandemic, the credit was boosted temporarily from $2,000 per child to $3,000, even $3,600 for families with little kids. The move helped cut U.S. child poverty by more than 40%.
It was a comfort in knowing that, you had this extra income.
One of the few things that both presidential candidates agree on is that the child tax credit should get a big boost.
I do support it, and I want to have it.
We will provide $6,000 in tax relief to families during the first year of a child's life.
The Trump campaign is proposing a $5,000 per child yearly tax credit, while Vice President Harris is proposing a $3,000 to $3,600 per child credit, with a bump to $6,000 for newborns. Trump wants the credit to go to all families, regardless of income, while Harris would restrict the credit to low and middle-income families only. She would also make the credit refundable, meaning even parents who don't pay taxes would get the credit in cash.
This is a really exciting moment.
Economist Melissa Carney.
We have tons of evidence that supplementing the income of low-income families with children really meaningfully improves those children's lives. We see they do better in school. Their health outcomes are improved.
The cost has always been a sticking point. A bill to expand the credit failed in the Senate just last month.
The motion is not agreed to.
Why do you think people with kids should get a tax break? Because we want them to grow up to be great, productive citizens. And it's like you can't do that if they can't eat.
Especially when the cost to raise a child is only going up. Nancy Cordes, CBS News, Norristown, Pennsylvania.
It's a great piece on the issues. And On the Road is next with the story about friends being our real-life superheroes. There is hope if we support each other. That's tonight's CBS Evening News. I'm Norah O'Donnell. Good night and have a great weekend.